configure charts. Charts in the trading platform visualize changes of financial symbol quotes over time. Charts are used for technical analysis and operation of expert advisors. They allow traders to visually monitor the price of currencies and shares in real time and instantly respond to any changes in the market situation. In the trading platform, you can open up to 100 charts at a time, customize their appearance and displayed information, apply and remove various objects and indicators, and much more. Chart. How to open, view, set time frame, and scale. Let's start with chart opening. You can quickly open a chart by selecting a financial symbol in the Market Watch window by clicking on the chart window item of the context menu. You can also open a chart by dragging a symbol from the Market Watch window to any area of the trading platform. Another way is to execute the new chart command from the file menu or click the appropriate button on the toolbar. So let's go over a couple examples. There are multiple ways to open a chart within MetaTrader 5. Let's go ahead and start with, I would probably say one of the easiest ways of doing it. Within your Market Watch, what you can do is you can go ahead and select an instrument within the Market Watch just by simply left-clicking on the symbol. So how you identify which symbol is selected is by looking at the highlight. So you can see that as I'm clicking here, you can see that particular symbol is highlighted. All right, so let's just say, for example, the mini NASDAQ here, ENQZ6. If I right-click, you'll see there's chart window. All right, so this is when you right-click on the symbol that's highlighted, you'll access the context menu, and therefore you can see chart window. If I left-click, that now opens a new chart for that particular symbol. All right, so I'm going to close this chart out for now. That's one way of opening a chart. Another way is you can go to File. In the menu tab at the top there, you'll see New Chart. All right, so that's another way as well. Just one thing I want to bring up as a tip, you can see the Futures drop-down menu here. You'll see the different symbols that are listed. If you're wondering what dictates what symbols are listed, you have to look within the Market Watch. Whatever symbols you have added within the Market Watch is the symbols that will be displayed within the Futures tab. All right, so you can see here, if you notice the last symbol, these are currency pairs, but that's you can see here November beans. So if I go to File, New Chart, Futures, you can see that November bean is the last futures contract. All right, so just simply select the symbol that you want to open a chart for, and there's the euro, for example. All right, that's one way of doing it. Another way as well is you can go ahead and just do chart dragging, which I demonstrated in the Market Watch video. So if you hold down, let's first demonstrate the regular drag option. So if I take this chart here, which is a December mini S&P, I'm going to highlight the mini NASDAQ. Watch what happens when I hold down my left click and drag it over the existing chart. See how the chart is now replaced to that symbol? All right, now if I hold down the Control key on the keyboard, so let me switch this back to mini S&P. So now you can see the symbol's changed. Now watch what happens if I hold down Control on my keyboard while simultaneously holding down the left click and drag. It then creates a separate tab in the chart tab at the bottom here. So if you do not want the existing chart to be replaced, you want to hold down your Control key on your keyboard. Therefore, that's going to allow you to create an additional chart outside of the one that already exists. All right, another way as well is you can also just use this option here in the toolbar, the first icon where you see Create a New Chart. Hit the drop-down menu, Futures, and you can go ahead and select whichever symbol you'd like to create a chart for. So say, for example, December 30-year bonds. Now you can see the 30-year bond has been added onto the chart. All right, so those are multiple ways of accessing and creating charts within MetaTrader 5. Just want to demonstrate each method. I'll leave it up to you to decide which method you feel is going to be the easiest way of creating a new chart for yourself. As far as chart types, there's broken lines, bars, and candlesticks. Price charts can be presented as a sequence of bars, Japanese candlesticks as a broken line. You could switch between presentation types using the commands in the toolbar. Let me go and show you the shortcut icons in the toolbar. Also, the chart type can be changed using the Charts menu, which also is available in the context menu of the chart or for the chart properties. All right, so let's go ahead and demonstrate what I just mentioned. This basically gives you 3 different chart types that you can create within MetaTrader 5. These are the 3 different icons here. In my opinion, I would probably say the easiest method is going to be using these shortcut icons in the toolbar here. So here's, for example, a bar chart, If I left click, it changes it to a bar chart, candlestick, line chart. Another way as well, if you go to chart here in the menu tab, you can see there's three icons: bar chart, candlesticks, line chart. So just simply select the specific chart type that you want to create. Another way as well, if you right click on the chart itself, you'll have the options within the context menu, so bar chart, candlesticks, and line chart here. Or you can go to properties and you can click on the common tab, and then you also have the three selections here. Alright, so again, different methods of creating different chart types within MetaTrader 5. I'll leave it up to you to decide which one is best for you. There's also a chart zoom function, which allows you to zoom the chart in and out using the buttons on the toolbar. The chart scale can also be changed by rolling your mouse wheel up and down while holding down your control key simultaneously. Alright, so the chart zoom is pretty straightforward. If you want to use the shortcut icons in the toolbar, they will be located here, the magnifying glass icon. So this is zooming in, as you can see. This is zooming out. And if you don't want to use toolbar icons, you can just hold down your control key on your keyboard while simultaneously scrolling your middle mouse button up and down. And that's another way of utilizing the chart zoom function within MetaTrader 5 charting. And last but not least, changing the chart time frame. So a time frame is a time interval of quotes on the chart of a financial instrument. This is the time of one bar or candlestick. There are a total of 21 chart time frames from 1 minute to 1 month available within the trading platform. The time frame is selected depending on the trend studied. So as a general rule, the time frames from 1 minute to 15 minutes are typically used for short-term scalping. Mid-term time frames can be between 30 minutes to 4 hours, which are usually used for intraday trading. Higher time frames allow you to analyze longer-term trends. You can also switch between the time frames using a special toolbars called labeled timeframes, which I'll demonstrate in a moment. And also a time frame can also be changed using the charts menu as well as the context menu of the chart itself. All right, so let's go ahead and show you what I feel, in my opinion, is the easiest way to change time frames within the platform by simply utilizing the toolbar time frame function here. So you can see it's below the main toolbar, and you'll see the icons that represent the different time frames. So that's 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, so forth. Now you can change these buttons, so you don't necessarily have to stick with that exact example. If you right-click within the toolbar itself, you can go to Customize, and now here you can insert, remove whatever time frames you want to see or which ones you do not want to see, and you can also organize the order of appearance by moving them up and down, or you can reset it. All right, so again, that's right-clicking within the toolbar. If you right-click outside of the toolbar, nothing will happen, so you have to right-click actually within the toolbar itself to get this menu option. Click Customize, and now you're going to be able to arrange and customize the time frames accordingly. And as far as changing the time frames, pretty straightforward. Just click. That's a 5-minute chart now, 15-minute. So I'll go back to a 1 minute. Another way as well, if you click on the Charts menu tab at the top, you can see time frames here. This will have all 21 time frames available. So just simply left-click the specific time frame that you'd like to use. Another way is right-clicking on the chart, and you can go on time frames here. All right, so I personally feel the easiest way is using the toolbar. Just gives you an instant visual button that you can click on to change the time frames. And just keep in mind that a chart can be opened by dragging an instrument from the Market Watch window. However, if the instrument is dragged to the window of an open chart, the new symbol is open in the same window while the previous one is deleted from it. In this case, all settings of the previous chart are applied to the new one. However, as I mentioned before, if you hold down your control key while dragging a financial instrument, the new chart is open in a separate window using the default template as if you were logging into MetaTrader 5 for the very first time. So it's going to basically give you the default setup, which looks just like this. All right, so this is basically the black background with the green bar candles. All right, so that's basically the example that I showed when you're using the drag function from the Market Watch, whether you want to replace the existing chart or if you want to create additional tabs. All right, moving on, in terms of changing the color of the chart, pretty straightforward, very easy to do. You can go ahead and change the color of the chart. The chart appearance is highly customizable. You can hide or show any element as well as change its color. For convenience, there are 3 color schemes of charts that are available in the platform. You can access these particular schemes in the chart properties. You can select a color scheme or set up colors of individual elements of the chart itself. To access the chart properties, we will simply click the Properties menu in the context menu of the chart itself. All right, so let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. If you right-click anywhere in the body of the chart, you can go to Properties here, which is the very last menu at the bottom, and then if you click the Colors tab, now you will see that this little drop-down menu that's displayed, labeled Scheme. So one thing I like about the MetaTrader 5 platform is when you are about to make a change, you can actually see a preview of what that change is going to look like. So if you like it, you can run with it. If you don't like it, then you can go ahead and choose something else. But you get a preview display of what that's going to look like before you actually apply the change. So in this case, right now I'm currently using a black on white scheme. So if I go ahead and change this to green on black, that's what it's going to look like. If I like it, click OK. You can see now it's been changed. Right click, Properties. If I want to go yellow on black, that's what it's going to look like. If I want to go with that particular scheme, then you can see that's been changed. Now, if you don't want to use the pre-built schemes, then you can go ahead and just select let me go and change this back real quick. You can go ahead and change the individual elements of the chart, whether it's the background, the foreground, grid, and so forth. Just go ahead and hit the drop-down menu, choose the color of choice, and make your change and hit OK. So, for example, if I wanted to change the background to something that's not available in the pre-built scheme, let's say, for example, a teal color, now you can see I can change that. All right, so for now, I'm going to stick with the pre-built setup that I used prior, black on white, straightforward. And that's pretty much how you change colors of the chart. Again, by right-clicking on the chart, go to Properties, make sure you're on the Colors tab, and change your colors accordingly. As far as arranging the different charts that you have within MetaTrader 5, so you might have multiple charts that are open within the platform. So if multiple charts are open in your trading platform, you can easily organize them. You can use the window menu and select one of the available chart arrangement types. So let me show you what that looks like. So you can see right now that I have multiple charts within MetaTrader 5. There's many charts. So you can see if I go here, the window menu tab, I have different options that I can select to organize them. So if I want to go tile windows, I can tile them, as you can see there. If I want to cascade them, or if I want to tile them horizontally or vertically. And those are pretty much the four options that you have. So you have tile windows, cascade, horizontally, and vertically. If you don't want to use any of these particular options, then you could just use the method that I was using just by simply blowing up the chart to full scale and just tab to tab to look at different charts within your workspace. All right, so those are different ways of organizing and viewing charts within MetaTrader 5. Another thing that I like, that I highly recommend using, especially if you're very involved in making changes to your profile. A profile basically is the entire workspace, and then you also have templates. So templates are if you have a specific setup that you set up your chart, whether you're using particular indicators, and you don't want to go through the trouble of creating all those templates, or better yet, those changes every time you open up a new chart. So what are templates and profiles? Well, templates and profiles allow saving settings of charts, and you can easily apply them when necessary. For example, to analyze a currency pair, you have added a horizontal line to mark up the levels, for example. Or perhaps save a separate chart template in order to preserve the levels. In this case, you can always restore the levels on a new chart by applying the template. So templates are generally used for saving parameters of an individual chart, chart type and color, color scheme, scale, whether you're running expert advisors, applying indicators and analytical objects, as well as other settings. Now in profiles, you can save the settings and arrangements of all open charts that basically are within the entire workspace for technical analysis. So you can conveniently work with profiles and templates using your toolbar within MetaTrader 5. They can also be accessed using the charts menu, the context menu of the chart, as well as the status bar of the platform. All right, so let's go ahead and get involved in showing you what the profiles and templates do. And I want to separate the two. Let's start with profiles first. So let's just say that you're using MetaTrader 5 and you have different window arrangements within your entire workspace. So whether you have a market watch here like I do, a data window here, a chart, you have a toolbox at the bottom, because at the end of the day you can move all the stuff around. You don't necessarily have to use this example that I'm showing you right now. So what you can do is you can create separate profiles for different purposes. So for example, if I click here, File, the menu tab, you'll see a profile option in the context menu, and then you'll see a sub-context menu within the profile context menu itself. And these are the different profiles that I have created within MetaTrader 5. So there's example, the one I'm using right now is AMP. That's another one I created the other day called AMP2. So let me just go ahead and show you a quick example of creating a new profile. So what you're going to do, I'm going to go and choose this existing Euro profile. This is one of the pre-built profiles that comes included when you first log into MetaTrader 5 for the very first time. And these are, at the moment, these are currency pair contracts. All right, so we're strictly demonstrating futures, so I would think I'm going to make some changes here, just simply change these to future charts instead. All right, so I'm going to use the drag and drop function from the market watch. All right, so now we have future symbols that are displayed. All right, so let's just pretend that it took me many hours to create this particular layout, this profile, and now I want to go ahead and save it. All right, so once you make all your changes, the next step is you want to go to File, Profiles, and just simply click Save As, and then name the profile anything you wish. So we'll call it AMP3, just keep it simple. Click OK. And now if you go to the File, Profiles, you can see now that the AMP3 workspace has been created. All right, so this is going to be very convenient if you are the type of person that creates multiple profiles for different purposes, and you want to be able to toggle from one profile from another very easily. So if I want to go back to the original AMP profile that I was working off, all I have to do is click it, and now I'm back at the AMP profile. If I want to go back to the AMP2, the one I created the other day, I can go ahead and select that. Or if I want to go to the one I just created, which is the AMP3 profile, simply left-click to select. All right. You can also access the profile options as well from the secondary icon within your toolbar within MetaTrader 5, which is, you can see here, the second icon with the drop-down menu. And if you're wondering what these buttons do here, next and previous, basically, if you notice, there is a chronological order of how these profiles are listed. So you can see AMP, AMP2, AMP3, and so forth. So right now I'm on AMP3. If I were to hit next, it's gonna move to the British pound profile because it's the next one down in the list. So next, and now you can see it's been moved to the British pound profile, which you can see at the bottom there. That's the current profile. All right, so to be honest with you, I kind of find it easier just clicking the profile that you want to choose. So in this case, AMP. But if you do want to use the next and previous option, you can go ahead and do that. Just keep in mind, if you're wondering how it's going to dictate which profile it's going to move to or previously, it's going to be in order of how the profiles are listed here. Another thing, you can right-click on the chart, and you can also see the profile option within the context menu. Actually, you know what? It's not here within the actual chart itself. So it's basically going to be in your toolbar and also the file menu here. All right, so that's profiles. Let's move on to templates. Templates are specifically to the chart. So this is a good example. Let's pull up a new chart that I just created a moment ago. And this is a brand new chart. That's the default layout when you create a new chart within MetaTrader 5. It's got the black background with the green bar candle type. So let's just say I'm going to add a few indicators. So let's just add a few here. Let's just go ahead and change the background, for example. Let's go ahead and use the yellow on black theme. Let's change this to a candlestick chart, for example. And we'll go ahead and make a couple changes, some minor changes. So for example, bull candle, instead of it being black, we'll go ahead and make that green. And bear candle, we'll make that red. All right, so the candle's a little more visible. And then we'll add a few indicators. All right, so indicators, let's say Bollinger Bands, for example. And we'll add one more indicator. Let's just go with something random here. I'll just pick Commodity Channel Index. All right, CCI. All right, so let's just pretend that it took me a couple hours to add these indicators, make these changes, which it only took me a few minutes, but there are traders out there that spend a lot of time configuring and customizing their chart layouts. So it would be pretty inconvenient, and every time you open up a new chart, you'd have to go through that exact same process every single time. So the templates are going to save you a lot of time. So what you're going to want to do is make the changes first, just as I've done, and the next step is you can right-click on the chart, you can go to Templates, and now you can go ahead and click Save Template. All right, so when you do that, just go ahead and save it to an area within your hard drive that's going to be easy to find. I'm just going to go ahead and save it on the desktop. I'm going to go ahead and call this today's date, for example. Keep it simple, and then save. All right, so now let's go to a different chart here. So let's say this mini NASDAQ chart. That's the default chart. Nothing has been changed, so we want the chart to look just like this, and I don't want to go through all those steps that I've just taken to create that layout. So now I'm going to right-click on the chart, go to Templates. I'm going to load template, as you can see here, and I'm going to go ahead and locate the exact template that I've just created. So in this case, there it is right there, the 9/27/2016. I'm going to open it, and there you go. So that is the benefit of using the templates within MetaTrader 5. It's just ease of use of transferring existing changes and modifications that you've made to prior charts, save them as a template, and therefore can be applied to any new chart that you open moving forward. So that's something that I highly recommend using. I believe you can also access the templates context menu from the charts menu tab here, as you can see, and same concept. All right, if you want to remove existing templates, you can go and remove them just by simply going to remove template. And that's pretty much the profiles and templates. Highly recommend using it. Definitely is going to be something that I find of great value, especially if you do a lot of changes. You make a lot of involved changes and customization to your charting. Moving forward, how to view precise values on the chart. So you can view the precise price, time, or indicator values using the crosshair and the data window. All right, so you just simply by turning on the crosshair on the line studies toolbar, and the exact values of a chart point will be shown on the price and timescales. More details about the current cursor position on the chart are available in the data window, date and time, bar parameters, volume, spread, for example, maximum value on a selected bar, as well as indicator values. All right, just keep in mind that any indicator can be configured, visualized within the visualization tab in the indicator properties window, so that its values are displayed in this window. All right, so this is a pretty straightforward function in terms of the precise value tool. It's basically if you're using, for example, if you're using the chart trader function within MetaTrader 5. So right now I have a regular cursor. If I hover my mouse cursor on the chart, you could see that there is no crosshair, and I'm not sure exactly where my mouse cursor is hovered because I don't have the precise value function enabled. All right, so it's simple. If you want to activate it, it's within the toolbar here, just to the right of the regular cursor icon. You can see right here, crosshair. If I click it, notice now there's a crosshair on the chart, and as I move my mouse cursor, depending on where it is, it's actually telling me a precise value of the timestamp at the bottom of the chart here, and also the price value on the right side price column as well. All right, so that's going to be perhaps a little more convenient if you're using the trade off the chart function to give you a better idea of where your mouse cursor is hovered on the chart when you go to place a trade. And also if you look at the data window here, you'll see those values begin to move depending on where your mouse cursor is hovered. All right, and so this is pretty much an introduction to the charting within MetaTrader 5. You can see that it's very easy, very user-friendly, not a whole lot of complexity in terms of making changes and just navigating through the software itself. One other thing that I want to touch on before we sign off, just in terms of chart construction features, the history data, which is based on which charts are constructed, are stored on the hard disk. So when you open a chart, the data is loaded from the disk. The last missing data is downloaded from the trading server. So if there's no history data for the symbol on the hard drive, the latest 512 bars of history are downloaded. All right, so to download earlier data, you want to move the chart to the desired area. Once the chart is open, the platform starts receiving information about the current quotes. Thus, further price changes are shown in the real-time mode. This information is automatically saved in the history file and used later when you reopen this chart. All right, so basically, from my understanding, the historical data is stored locally on your hard drive. All right, so as you leave the MetaTrader 5 platform open, it will compile that data and store it onto your hard drive. So when you log back into the platform, it'll re-download that data. And other than that, this is a quick introduction to the charting. We'll take you into a deeper look in terms of adding indicators, how to use analytical tools such as drawing tools, as well as trading directly off the chart as well. If you have any questions on this, please contact our 24-hour support team. We're available around the clock, so as long as the markets are open. You can reach us at 312-893-6400. Extension 1 gets you transferred directly to our help desk. Definitely stay involved with our community on our YouTube channel and subscribe to our channel, show your support. And you can visit us at www.youtube.com/AMP Futures. Again, that's www.youtube.com/AMP Futures. Thank you very much for listening in. We'll see you next time, and happy trading.